So our topic is all about the transfer case of a vehicle. A transfer case is a key component in vehicles with four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive systems. It is a gearbox connected to the vehicle's transmission. It is a vehicle component that involves in distribution of power in different kinds of wheel drive. Now, the function. The transfer case splits the engine's power and delivers it to the front and rear axles through drive shafts. It can also synchronize the speed difference between the front and rear wheels. Its purposes are: number one, it enables four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, where it allows the vehicle to operate in either two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive modes. Number two, improved traction ensures power is distributed to all wheels, providing better grip on slippery, uneven, or off-road surfaces. And lastly, number three, control modes. It offers options like high range for normal speed and low range for off-road or towing gearing. In simple terms, it helps the vehicle adapt to different driving conditions by distributing power effectively.
Late 80s, early vehicle like those from FWD experiment with basic 4WD system using chain drives or bevel gears. 1930s, military vehicle like the Jeep introduced more functional 4WD system. 1940s, WW2 and the Jeep, the Willys MV Jeep 1940 featured Dana 18 transfer case offering high and low range gear for military use. This marked the beginning of practical 4WD system. In 1950s to 1970s, civilian use of pickup trucks transfer cases became common in civilian vehicles like Chevrolet Suburban and Ford F-Series with system their manual or part-time 4WD. The full-time 4WD system appeared in models like Jeep Wagoneer 1963 and Chevrolet Blazer in 1970s, offering better off-road performance.
1980s to 1990s, shift-on-the-fly and electric control. Shift-on-the-fly technology allowed 4WD engagement without stopping. Electronic transfer case emerged, automatically distributing power to improve efficiency and traction. Vehicles like the Jeep Grand Cherokee 1992 introduced more advanced pull systems. 2000s to present, advanced and adaptive system. Modern transfer cases are often electronically controlled, offering seamless 4WD engagement and better fuel economy.
So, hi everyone. Today, our topic is transfer case parts and functions. So, the transfer case distributes power between the front and rear output shafts. So, this is the transfer case. Clutch lever. Clutch lever engages or disengages the clutch assembly to control power transfer. Clutch assembly. It transfers rotational power from the input shaft to the output shafts as needed. Input shaft. It receives power from the engine or transmission. Drive chain. It transfers power between the input and output shafts. Rear output shaft. It delivers power to the rear wheels. Front output shaft. It delivers power to the front wheels. Transfer case encoder motor. It controls shifting between two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive modes. And that's all guys. I hope you learned something new. Goodbye.
Transfer case basic components. A transfer case is a critical component in four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. It is responsible for distributing power from the engine, both in front and the rear axles. Its main components are: number one, housing. The transfer case is typically enclosed in a durable metal housing that protects the internal components and houses the oil or fluid that lubricates the system. Number 2. Input shaft. This shaft receives power from the vehicle's transmission. It transfers the rotational force to the transfer case. Number 3. Main shaft. The main shaft connects the input shaft to the output shafts, which drive the front and rear axles. Number 4. Chain or gears. Depending on the design, chain-driven or gear-driven, the power is transferred via a chain or gears. Number 5. Output shafts. These shafts distribute power to the front and rear axles, allowing for the movement of all four-wheel vehicles in four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive systems. Number 6. Range selector. This component allows the driver to switch between different modes such as two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, high, four-wheel drive, low, or neutral. Number 7. Differentials. Some transfer cases have an integrated differential to allow for different rotational speeds between the front and rear axles, particularly in all-wheel drive systems, where the wheels on each axle may turn different rates. And lastly, number 6. Control mechanisms. This can be manual, electronic, or vacuum controlled and are used to engage and disengage four-wheel drive or change ranges. This basic setup enables a transfer case to provide the necessary power distribution for a vehicle to maintain traction and stability on various surfaces.
Part-time four-wheel drive is meant solely for off-road or deep snow use. When traction is low and slippage is high, this system can operate at high speeds, but they are meant to be disengaged when the road is dry or speed increases. Two-wheel drive, 2WD, is a drivetrain that sends power from the engine to a wheel or of a vehicle, while allowing the other two wheels to spin. 2WD vehicles are usually either front-wheel drive (FWD) or rear-wheel drive (RWD), meaning the power is directed to the front or rear of the vehicle.
Active four-wheel drive. The third and final kind of 4WD is active four-wheel drive. This is the simplest version for the drivers to operate because it requires no manual input. You just drive. Computerized system in your car detect wheel slippage and automatically power delivered to the axles. Active 4WD system are in everything from workload trucks to luxury sporting vehicles, making them quite common on all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is all about consistent and continuous all-around power as the name implies. All-wheel drive provides power to the front and rear tires all at the same time. AWD is not the ideal setting for off-roading due to its less effective low gear settings when compared to four-wheel drive. An all-wheel drive transfers case has differential gears of its own to avoid driveline problems. These mechanical pieces manage the subtle changes in rotational speed and make the drivetrain effective.
Imagine a car with a four-wheel drive. The engine sends power to the transmission, but how does it reach all four wheels? That's where the transfer case come in. It's like a mini transmission, nestled between the main transmission and the axle. The transfer case splits the power from the transmission and sends it both to front and rear axle, allowing the cars to have four-wheel drive. But it's not just about splitting power. The transfer case also has gears that can change the ratio of power sent to each axle. This allows the driver to select different driving modes. High range for a normal driving on Fable Road. Low range for an off-road or a challenging condition like a snow or a mud. And two-wheel drive for a better fuel economy. High range sends power to both axle in a 1:1 ratio, while low range reduces the gear ratio, driving the car more torquey and more power for those tough terrains. Two-wheel drive modes connected to the front axle, allowing the car to run on just the rear axle. Transfer case acts like a control center for the power going to the wheels, ensuring the car has the right amount of traction and power for any situation.
Our topic for today is about transfer case systems. The transfer case system is mainly about how it connects and distributes power. Mechanical transfer case. It often uses gears and shafts within the transfer case to engage different drive models like 2WD to 4WD high and 4WD low. This mechanical connection allows for the transfer of the torque from the transmission to the front and rear axle as needed. Electrical transfer case. In modern vehicles, there may be electrical actuators and sensors. The electrical system controls the engagement and disengagement of the transfer case models based on driver input and vehicle conditions, providing a more precise and convenient way to manage power distribution.
Hello everyone. For now, I'm going to discuss how the mechanical transfer case works. Before that, let me show you its structures. We have the input shaft, output shaft, output drive shaft for rear, gear train, counter shaft, output drive shaft for front, and sleeve mechanism. The input shaft receives powers from the transmission and transfer it through a gear train, which adjusts torque and speed for different driving modes. The counter shaft helps direct power to the appropriate axle, while the rear and front output drive shaft send power to the respective axles in 2WD or 4WD mode. The sleeve mechanism allows the engagement and or disengagement of the rear of the gears to the output shaft. The transfer case ensures efficient power distribution for a better traction and stability, especially in off-road or slippery conditions.